this morning, but I gotta make content. So here's a review of a movie you did never expect me to watch, but here we are. I'm of course referring to Salò, or the 120 Days of Sodom, which is probably the most unsettling movie I've ever watched. Bar none. Maybe Angst comes close, but other than that, literally nothing compares to what takes place in this movie. You might be wondering, well, what exactly do you mean? Well, let's just say that if you have a weak stomach, or you are sensitive to topics such as pedophilia, stuff like that, I advise you to strongly stay away from this movie. I hope that's understood well. But anyways, let's talk about the movie. Or I should probably start with the director, actually, who's a weird guy. Not really weird, but just was, how do we put it, different than what was to be expected in Italy, which is where this movie was directed. And he's I think best way to describe Pier Pasolini is unflinching. And nowhere is that better seen than his choice to make a movie based off one of the most infamous books ever made. He does not fuck around. He has balls, and that's all I'll say about that. But enough about respect for the guy and everything. Let's talk about the fact that he was murdered for making this movie. Murdered. That's right. The dude was friggin' murdered for making an anti-fascism movie, which is one of the many things this movie is, but anyways, let's get into the movie now, actually, and see why exactly people did not like his movie. But is it a bad movie? Believe it or not, it's not a bad movie at all. Because this movie might just be one of the greatest political bashings in movie history. I am not joking when I say that. It does not fuck around with being anti-fascism. So anyways, the story is these four elite bureaucratic fascists. It's the end of World War II in Salò, Italy. And these four bureaucratic fascists, or whatever elitists, are knowing that the war isn't turning out the way they planned, and they're getting old anyways, so they decide to round up 18 teenagers, 9 girls, and 9 boys, and just subject them to their degenerate fantasies for 120 days straight before killing them off. That is literally the synopsis of this movie. And if I'm losing you, just hang on a second, because I'm going to tie it back around to something very important. So, they get these 9 boys and 9 girls. One of them tries to escape. They shoot them down, and I literally told myself that's as bright as the movie's about to get. And lo and behold, I was right. So they go there, and they have a strict set of guidelines. They must follow one of them. One of the noble ones, of course, being no practicing of religion, which one of them eventually does, and they are killed off because of that. Yep. Talk about nihilism. That's something you see your average Redditor doing. Then again, these guys are obviously way worse than even the worst of Reddit. So, they do things in the movie. When I mean do things, I mean they just act out their fantasies, basically, on these children. And it is hard to watch. It is an endurance test in many ways. But I'm going to review that as well in a second. It is truly amazing, though, that something weird I learned about this movie is that everyone involved was like, had a good time making this movie. I don't know, because everything's really explicit and like nothing is hidden back. It's not like no camera tricks or pretty much anything, but people had fun making this. They didn't expect the movie to be as horrific as they titled, or at least the actors didn't know how horrific it was going to be. I guess it wasn't until Pasolini was murdered until they realized, oh wait, what did I just take part in? But, so anyways, some of the things they do include like checking out the people, making them do humiliating things, dehumanizing things, like walking like dogs completely naked. And it's hard to think about this movie. But they do sex. There's a lot of poop and of that. Jesus Christ Almighty. But yeah. So this is not an easy movie to watch. As if I haven't said that enough already. But we get to the climax, which is really a culmination of everything we've seen so far. But one important scene, I think, is there's this girl that shows up early in the movie, this black girl, who, like, eavesdrops on the fascists, and they chase her away, but she comes back just to have sex with one of the guys they kidnapped. And they shoot them both down, but not before he does this. He just does that at them, and they literally lower their guns. Like, they're literally taken back. That might just be the most beautiful thing this whole movie. Seeing fascists crumble like that. Knowing that they're not as strong as they say. it's quite ballsy again for Pasolini. But he did it. Managed to degrade fascists in such a way that I don't think anyone would want to follow it after what they've witnessed. But we finally get to the climax, which is a culmination of everything we've seen before. It is literally just them torturing them. Like, there's the infamous scene where they take his tongue out and cut it with a knife. They scalp a girl. They burn people with literal fire. It is just a complete hellscape. They take turns watching with binoculars as if this is a cool movie they're watching or theater play. It is really abhorrent. And then the movie ends with two of the guards dancing peacefully to music. That's literally how the movie ends. It's like that dancing scene and then boom, end card. And I just gotta say, wow. I literally clapped at the end of this movie. No joke. I clapped. Because this is probably the greatest portrait of evil, portrait of many things ever put to film. While it doesn't hold back, maybe a little exploitative. Nonetheless, it does what it does. It shows you truly evil humans can be. And I know a lot of people don't like this film, and I understand that to an extent. It is, again, exploitative, but I feel like just that alone, being turned off by that alone, is a bit ignorant of how this really happens. People do get treated like this. People were treated like this. Maybe not necessarily based off the events of the book or movie, but human trafficking and sexual degeneracy and all that stuff really does exist. And was captured perfectly in this movie. And I feel like a changed person after watching this movie. I hope someone else out there does feel the same way about this movie. Because it's a work of beauty, and I can see why the Criterion Collection prioritized this over so many other great movies. Because this truly is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. Probably will still be in my top 50 movies, even when I'm an old man. So yeah, that's my review of Salò, or the 120 Days of Sodom. Thanks for watching, thanks for sticking around. If you like it, dislike it, and have a great day.